Hello everyone, Big Loss is here and welcome to my video commentary on a Mist of Tirna side plus 14 I did earlier as a BM hunter. In this run I will tell you about the decision making, things to look out for and mistakes where I and perhaps you can improve as a Beast Mastery hunter. First off, we do misdirect on the tank, or we try to at least. Um, I have to be honest, the first part of the dungeon, or at least this pool, is not really great. As you can see, the tank has a lot of stacks of necrotic and dies, and the healer dies as well. And rightly after there you see the spiteful coming at me. I thought I was throwing a freezing trap on it and I didn't pay attention. Then the mob walked towards me, smacked me, and that made a very awkward pull. Spoiler alert though, we will make the end of the dungeon uh, just fine. Here on this pull, um, you could actually combine those two, but uh, for now it's fine that we're not doing that. You can see the overgrowth cost on me from the Tirnan villager. Use your feign death and then it will stop the cost so you won't get brooted. Um, Besides that, it's also still a good damage reduction. Um, as you can see, the overgrown is cost on the druid there, but luckily uh, the mob died just beforehand. At the start of the pool, we discussed that we would invis spot here, so I'll just invis spot. And there you can see, even I used an invis spot, still my pets get aggro. I stopped moving towards the rest of the team and start reviving my pet before I join this pool. Um, well, here as you can see, just pop all your cooldowns. On the left side you can see the Grievous stacks of the tank and other stacks. So if you can help him out by throwing a binding shot or something like that, or a tar trap, use it. You saw the tank running away there, so I threw down a binding shot just to root them. Um, in this dungeon, normally you would just continue on walking and don't kill the spiteful shades. Our group decided to kill them most of the time. Um, at this point, they were actually blocking our path, so it's better to do that.
How may I be of use?
Clicking the plants are hard, as you can see, but we managed to do it. The tank has quite a nice pace, so we go right into the next pull. Um, in this dungeon I will show you a couple of tips and tricks which are very useful, and one will be coming up very soon. Here on the fear, spread out and just walk back in as the moment the fear ends. If you get targeted and on the move afterwards, it is a massive bleed. Use your Kyrian Vow if you are Kyrian to remove it, or use a damage reduction um, if you get hit, because it's quite hard to heal up. The stats are shown in the bottom right, and as you can see, my crit is going up quite nicely with that ability. Here, this is the second general of the dungeon, and we're gonna pull the third general right after this one. Um, and that's something I highly suggest every hunter to do on runs like this. Um, on this dungeon, because well, it's a damaging buff as well, which helps with the boss fight later on. Here, I don't know if these mobs actually scale with boss health or mob weak, because they're feeling quite weak, to be honest. Um, Here I tell the group that I can pull it. The tank already knew, and so here we go. You just look over the corner. You can target the boss. You target it, and then you click there your pet to attack. I used misdirect on the tank as well. Um, Some runs my pets just walk back, and some runs they don't. Here I have to manually click them moving back. But when my pet dies, I just rest it before the boss is here and or the general, and then we can use our cooldowns and start popping him again. On this fight, or on this general, I suggest keeping an eye on your interrupt and maybe also on the interrupts of your party, because you really want to kick the Inferno cost. The Inferno cost really wipes your group more or less, so it's something to watch out for. And here we get our next power, and that's like 3 powers before we're even at the first boss. We do another stat stack, and as you can see, we have 43% crit, like baseline right now. Combine that with Aspect of the Wild, which gives another 10% crit, and our Kyrian ability, which gives us, I think, 30% crit, if I'm alright, if I'm correct. And that makes for a lot of crit in this window. So lots of crits, and when critting a lot with your auto attacks, that makes that your barb shops reset, that your bestial red comes up cooldown faster, which really increases your overall DPS. So I suggest going crit first and then haste second. On to the first boss. This boss on boss week, Tyrannical, which we are on right now, is quite a drag, I think. It takes quite a long time to kill it. Just if you can interrupt, I should interrupt the Spirit's Bolt more often. I'm not doing that. I'm also not multi-dotting in this instance. I actually should multi-dot the boss some more. Here we kill him at the moment that the fear runs out, which is like a good 2-3 seconds of DPS loss on a moment where he gets so much damage in such a short window. It's really a shame. As you can see there, the 17k crits from Bestial Wrath, it really does a lot of damage. Now I start multi-dotting, because now the boss and the, well, both bosses take decent amount of damage. So just try and kill them. Because the boss was at like 50% when we resummoned the first one, or he resummoned the first one. It's better to focus that one again and like do damage on both. Here the same thing happens. The fear goes off at the moment. We are not a coordinated group. It's a pug, and so if you are on a coordinated group, you can just go a slow DPS or whatever. But yeah, we didn't do that. On this part, just start multi-dotting again. At first I was not really sure if we were gonna kill Ingra Malak this rotation, or that we needed to kill Dromon again, but we were focusing him and he was going down quite nicely. The mage was really doing some decent DPS, so we killed Ingra Malak right here. And now oh, sorry about that. The maze part, that's where we're going now. As a BM hunter, there's like no excuse for not helping with that. You are mobile, you can cast everything or use everything whenever you want. You don't need to stand still, so be helpful with that. Help with the with the pools. I called here, used the spawn point because had some runs in Mist where we or someone forgot to use them. Kill the spiteful ads. You can't go through the Mist portal when the spiteful ads are up. You can go through them if they're spawning, but you need to be really quick. Usually people know which way to go here because they either marked the next boss before flying away or just looked over the wall. And this tank knew what he was doing and he knew where the boss was going. So that's why he's hugging that side as well. Help your team out. Use your binding shot for your tanks to drop stacks. Sadly, the tank dropped the stacks way later. And not on the binding shot because the mob jumped away and into melee range from him. Here we go on to the next pool, and from this point on I start looking and walking around, seeing what ads, or not ads, what the markers are. And I also noticed that the warrior, he was using an add-on to call which one it was. And there you go, solution empty. So there was an add-on who saw what was in there, or what was shown, and just called it out. So that's quite handy. I don't know what the add-on is called, but I should definitely get it for this dungeon. Because normally when I do this dungeon, I just say out loud or think to myself like which one I've seen, and then find the right one. But this one is very easy. So there I got one. Someone else tagged another. I showed this one. That one was shown. And then there you go, and you have the answer in the bottom. It is a little bit of a DPS loss if you're focusing on that, or at least for me, but it shouldn't be that big of a loss. There I got rooted, and I don't have the disengage talent where you remove roots from yourself. I don't have that one, so I popped turtle in case a spiteful ad summoned right beside me, and I went for the kill. I didn't want to die to that again. On this one, just again, the entire mist, just walk around, showing what those are. If you're like a class which can't really move around this easily and still do DPS, then go stand by one of the pillars, so you can help out your team. Because what I see, a lot of DPS just stand there and then wait for either their healer or, well, mostly their healer to pick the right one, and you can just help with that. It's not that hard. Just stand next to one of these pillars, notice it, and if no one in your party, even the healer, is not looking, then spread out. Don't stand like 4 people on the same spot, just spread out. There I almost died. I should have used like Heart of the Wild, I think it's called, the defensive 20% DR. Instead I used Feign Death, which is only like a 5%, 6% DR. So not the best call. Well, luckily we had a short walk through the mist, and so we come to this boss quite fast. This is a fight where, yeah, for BM hunters, it's not really that hard. Dodging should be a piece of cake. Um, at least when you have a little bit of awareness. This mob, there you go, freeze trap it, easy. Let's see. This part I always find very difficult, because it takes me some time to notice which one is the right one to kill. Sometimes I see it immediately, but especially when I'm standing next to one, for some reason my brain doesn't process it quite so fast. Yeah, the mage slowed it or rooted it, which is very nice. I should have thrown a frost trap that way in hopes of like maybe rooting it, although I probably would have hit the boss, but I could have tried that. I didn't do it, and both the tank and the healer didn't move, so yeah, they got frozen over. There I thought I wasn't gonna make it out in time, and so I used my turtle to prevent damage. Luckily I was in time, but it's better safe than to be sorry. So. Stun the mob there, and if you can't root it, just kill it quickly if need be. In a coordinated group, I think you can even burst this boss before he does this phase again. But if you're pugging like me, then it's better to yeah, just try it. But yeah, you're probably gonna have to do another one of these phases, which is hard on your healer, to be honest, because it's quite a lot of damage in this phase. As you can see in the DPS, the mage is doing really great. The boomkin is not doing that great, which is quite weird to see, because boomkins were ruling the DPS charts for 9.0 and 9.05. What the tank does here, I really like. It was a bit of a surprise for me, but he pulled both packs at the same time. I think that was a great idea. Our rotation on interrupts on this boss or on the staghorn were not that great, because they're well, the mage and the druid were not interrupting, although the warrior shouted it out. But yeah, that's what happens when you bug. And there, yeah, it's something. The interrupt from hunters is very slow. 25 seconds. I tried to kick it, but was not up yet. There the healer got a battle res. I don't know if we already got the spawn point, otherwise he should have just released. Yeah, the warrior was asking for a big pull. I don't think it was a great idea. I didn't say it at the moment, but doing a big pull right there with all these little mobs would give him a shit ton of necrotic stacks. And well, I don't know if warriors can easily kite. Well, they can of course leap away, but And if they are Kyrian, of course, they can use the vial, but I don't know many other ways for them to get not Grievous, Necrotic off. Here, just try and kill the Shadeful ads as well, moving around them closely, or not getting clapped by them. I shouldn't use my focus on those. I should just already be focusing this instead of the Shadeful ads where we were actually already past. Before using Bestial Wrath, always use all your barbed shot stacks. It's quite useful to do. More stomps, and also if you're not at 3 stacks yet, well, then getting to 3 stacks is nice, because it will really help with your DPS. We are still damaging those. What I should have done, I did, was throwing them a tar trap, just to slow them, and everyone should just move past. As you can see, try and multi-dot as much as possible, creating a lot of small bleeds, which one barbed shot over time does as much as what's it called? One barbed shot does as much as a kill command over the duration of 8 seconds. So it's quite useful to spread them out. Here you can see the beauty of being in a pug group. People get mad over the dumbest things. For example, giving the tank a bop and then being mad about it, although the healer just wanted to make sure that he lost his necrotic stacks. But yeah, that's how things go. For some reason. Yeah. Well, guys, if you like this video, or if for example, the third general tip helped you out, then please consider leaving a like. And if you want to see more of this content, then consider subscribing. I'm really at the start of doing all this and new to this YouTube stuff and seeing if I keep enjoying it. But please leave feedback for me in the comments. It would really help me out a lot. Getting some feedback helps me get better at the game, and I'm even thinking about maybe doing some streams. Let me know if you guys think that's something you would want to see. Would be very nice. So let me know. Here I didn't use my Kyrian ability for the simple reason that I wanted it up for this boss, because this boss always takes quite some time, and although we have 5.5 minutes left, we would be busy with this boss, and I want every possible bit of damage to be used here, so that's why I didn't use it on the previous fight. Always use your kicks for the parasitic something. You don't want one of your party members to be controlled, so you have to switch targets and get him out, and would be very painful for him if when he got mind controlled, or you get mind controlled, that they use your offensive abilities. that would really suck. So make sure to kick that one. On the consumption, the phase we saw earlier, you can just let that phase roll. Because, yeah, of course you need to dodge, but besides that, he doesn't really do any damage at that point. And so that really, yeah, relieves some of the stress of your healers, your healer. There we go. We pop everything again, and we let the consumption just roll. And as you can see, like, of course people need to dodge, but they were not getting so much damage unless, of course, they managed to get hit. On the link, the mind link, I used to I tend to just walk away right from the start, just in case I get mind linked by someone. Like as you can see here, I just start backpedaling a little, just in case I get linked. And that's more or less the fight. This was a Mist of Tirna site. As a BM hunter on a easy key, a +14 key. There you can see it again. Let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.